Hey everybody, Paul Cameron here with SpeedUpMyJobSearch.com, and this is day 15 of my 31 days of search efficiency. And today I've got yet another tool and tactic to help you to make your search more efficient. And specifically today we're going to talk about how to prioritize your job leads. All right, now if you've been using the tactics that we talked about on day 3, where I showed you how to get job leads efficiently, so you've got lots of positions that you're pulling in every week in a very short period of time, getting them very efficiently. Well, now we need to make sure that you're going after the right ones. And we're going to get a little bit more advanced here today, because if you've looked through my Trello boards, you've noticed that I've got a checklist of things that you can do through every stage of the life cycle of a lead, right? So as you get into the research phase, research these things. And when you're done with those things, stop researching, right? Otherwise, you're going to spend the whole afternoon looking into all these different articles about that company. Get what you need to get and then move on to the next one, right? And then as you make your networking attempt, do these things and then move on. And here's the scripts and the templates and whatever you need. Well, we need to modify this a little bit, because some of these jobs are going to fill very quickly. Some of them are never going to fill, right? And we need to figure out which ones, based on the ones you're interested in and the probability in which they will fill, which ones of these you should work on. Now, if you're looking at Speed Up My Job Search, which you are right behind me at the moment, but you may have noticed that I've labeled each stage of the job search a phase, and I have them in all caps. People ask me, why is that in all caps? Because that is an acronym as it applies to SpeedUpMyJobSearch.com. This is the process of combining probabilities, habits, Agile Scrum for an efficient search, right? So we're combining probabilities, habits, and Agile Scrum concepts so that we can put together an efficient search process. And I start with probabilities, number one, because if you're pursuing the wrong jobs, or jobs that are never going to fill, you are completely and totally wasting time on something that's never going to happen, which I think is kind of the definition of inefficient, right? Spending time on something that's never going to happen. So I built a tool based off of how recruiters rank their jobs that they go after, right? And think about recruiters. A lot of recruiters are 100% commission, and they're simply going to go after the jobs that have the highest likelihood of filling this month. Well, how do they know that, right? We've got some questions that we ask that help us to rank these jobs against one another. And I've done that, and I've made it available here for job seekers. I've logged into kind of a stripped down version of my profile inside of SpeedUpMyJobSearch.com. And under here, I've got a section called probabilities. And in here, I've got a list of questions. All right. And as you start answering these questions based on the situation for each lead, it's going to then assign a percentage, the probability percentage here at the bottom, calculating based on how important each one of these questions are and how you've answered the questions. Right. Now, our goal here is not to get a 100% absolutely I'm getting this job ranking, because that's just not possible, right? The goal is to have a consistent set of questions that you can ask about every job, which then allows you to rank these jobs against one another, right? If you have different sets of questions you're asking about each job, the data is useless, right? So we want to make sure we have a consistent set of questions that ranks them consistently all the way through. All right, so we start right up top here with, is this a new position or a replacement role, right? And this is a really important question to know, because if it's a newly created position, meaning nobody's ever been in this role before, chances of this job filling quickly are not good. And I don't know if you know this or not, there are some recruiting firms out there that will not work on newly created positions, right? Even if, they're exclusively going to this one company, hey, we'll retain you to fill this role, they won't do it, right? Because the likelihood of getting that filled within the next 4 to 5 to 6 months are not high, right? So whether you rank it as a new or a replacement will change the percentage ranking of how likely it is that this position is going to fill, or how probable it is that this position is going to fill, right? How long has the job been open? All right, has it been just less than a month? If so, it's probably pretty hot, right? If it's been 2 to 3 months, not so much. If it's been, say, over 6 months, that is a concern. All right. From a recruiter's perspective, we all love to think, well, they just haven't met me yet, right? Well, if it's been 6 months, they've probably talked to a pretty good recruiter here or there, and there's maybe something internal going on over there, right? If it's been even more than 4 months on a job that's been open, because very likely internally there are some people who want different things from that job, and they haven't been able to agree on what they want, right? So you want to think about, it's been open for a long time. Why? How many interviews do they require? Just one? They're in a big hurry to fill that role. 2, including the phone interview. 3, say 4 to 6 months. 2 in here, you can say, I don't know. Each one of these has an option to say, I have no idea, or I haven't asked yet, right? That's a legitimate answer too. But each one of these gives a different ranking. And then at the bottom here, as I've been going, this has been changing all the while, right? Or do we know the timing of this? I'm going to say no, and it drops a little bit. Again, our goal is not to get to 100%. The goal is to compare this to the other jobs we have sitting in front of us. And then if you can also compare your interest level, if you've got a way to rank your interest level based on your, what you know about the organization and how you rank your positions, the specific features and attributes of that company and the job that you're interested in, and rank them against one another. And I've got tools, multiple tools for that as well in speedupmyjobsearch.com. But if you create your own, that's great also. The idea is to rank these positions against one another based on the likelihood it's going to fill, as well as how interested you are in the job. So then you know where to spend the bulk of your time. Okay, so that's going to help a ton. And tomorrow, this is the 15th, so tomorrow is our job club meeting, our jobs-driven networking group, or the Chicago Technology Network also is the meeting place for them as well. We're going to be meeting at noon via Zoom. It is free to register for this. You're welcome to attend and join us. We are going to talk about the videos that we've gone over so far. If you've got questions about those, you're welcome to reach out and ask. And I'm going to go over a bunch more for the rest of the year. I'm going to start to give a sneak peek into those tomorrow as well. I hope you can join us, and we can have a little bit of back and forth live on this call. It's from noon to 1 tomorrow on the 16th. I hope you can join us. And if not, all of our Job Club meetings we save in our Job Club archive. I've got well over 60 full presentations in there that you can watch. And speaking of being efficient with a Job Club, when you're watching a recording of a Job Club, you can fast forward, you can rewind if you missed a point, you can skip forward to the bookmarks. It's a much more efficient way to take in a Job Club rather than hoping their schedule matches yours and you can be there live. All right, so hope to see you tomorrow, and if not, you'll see me tomorrow on the video that I post for day 16.